Look around you. Look at the people you pass on the street. Look at your co-workers. Look at the faces staring back at you in the traffic gridlock. What do you see? You see the walking anesthetized. You see millions of biological machines executing a sequence of programming they did not write for a purpose they do not understand, to maintain a baseline of survival they secretly despise. This is the middle. This is the realm of the average. And the most terrifying truth about the average is not that it exists. It is that it is rarely an accident. You were not forced into mediocrity by a cruel universe. You were not condemned to the middle by bad luck or a flawed genetic code. You are there because you are actively, consciously, and repeatedly choosing to be there. Average is not a default state. Average is a highly sophisticated coping mechanism. It is a psychological sanctuary built by your ego to protect you from the lethal demands of greatness. Every single day, your potential is screaming to get out. It demands friction. It demands risk. It demands the absolute destruction of your current comfort zone. But when you hear that scream, you reach for the anesthetic. You reach for the scroll. You reach for the trivial distraction. You reach for the comforting lie that you are doing okay. Today, we are burning that sanctuary to the ground. We are going to dissect the micro decisions, the social conditioning, and the biological sabotage that you are using to actively construct your own mediocrity. We are going to apply the brutal lens of Stoicism and the cold mechanics of human psychology to your daily routine. If you want to protect your ego, leave. If you want a pat on the back for simply existing, this is not for you. But if you are ready to face the violent reality of your own complicity in your lack of progress, then sit down, take notes. Welcome to the autopsy of your average life. You believe that becoming extraordinary requires a single monumental decision. You believe it requires a heroic leap of faith. This is a cinematic lie. Failure is not an event, it is a process. And just as greatness is built through the invisible positioning of daily habits, mediocrity is constructed through thousands of microscopic concessions. You do not wake up one day and choose to be average. You negotiate your way down to it, one tiny surrender at a time. Let's look at your last 24 hours. When the alarm went off this morning, you had a choice. Embrace the immediate friction of discipline, or surrender to the biological comfort of the snooze button. You chose comfort. When you sat at your desk, you had a choice. Tackle the deepest, most complex, revenue-generating task that terrifies you, or answer low-priority emails because it feels like working. You chose the illusion of productivity. When you finished your day, you had a choice. Study the mechanics of your industry, build your business, train your body, or numb your exhausted mind with 3 hours of algorithmic entertainment. You chose the anesthesia. These are not harmless breaks. These are votes. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. The reason you are average is that the overwhelming majority of your daily votes are cast for comfort, not for conquest. In the study of applied psychology, we observe that the human brain operates on a principle of energy conservation. It views ambition as a biological threat because ambition requires caloric and emotional expenditure. Your brain does not want you to be part of the 1%. The 1% take risks, face public humiliation, and endure sustained periods of extreme psychological pressure. Your primitive mind perceives these states as dangerous. Therefore, it rationalizes your retreat. It whispers to you, "You worked hard enough today." It whispers, "You need balance." It whispers, "Don't burn yourself out." You are listening to a biological saboteur. You are taking advice from an ancient survival mechanism that was designed to keep you alive in a cave, not to help you build an empire. When you choose to be average, you are simply yielding to your lowest biological imperatives. You are letting your neurochemistry dictate your destiny. If the internal friction wasn't enough, we must now address the external mechanism designed to keep you exactly where you are, the gravity of the tribe. As a species, we are terrified of exile. For millions of years, separation from the tribe meant certain death. That evolutionary programming is still hardwired into your nervous system. You have a deep subconscious fear of outgrowing your environment, and your environment knows it. When you announce that you are raising your standards, you are not inspiring the average people around you. You are threatening them. When you declare that you are no longer drinking on weekends because you are building a business, you are holding up a mirror to their complacency. When you tell them you are studying the principles of Stoicism and emotional fitness instead of complaining about the economy, you are shattering the shared illusion that they are victims of circumstance. Average people do not want you to succeed. They want you to stay in the middle with them because your stagnation validates theirs. This is the crab bucket mentality. If you put a single crab in a bucket, it will easily climb out. If you put a dozen crabs in a bucket, the moment one tries to escape, the others will reach up and drag it back down. Who is dragging you down? Understanding the psychology of your stagnation is only the first step. Insight without execution is just another form of entertainment. If you are ready to stop choosing mediocrity, you must stop relying on motivation and start relying on architecture. You must build an environment that forces you into high performance. This is the tactical blueprint for your escape. Phase 1. The brutal audit. You must catalogue your concessions. For the next 7 days, you will track every single hour of your life. You will write down exactly how much time you spent consuming content versus creating it. You will measure how much time you spent complaining versus executing. You must drag your microscopic choices out of the shadows and look at them under the harsh light of radical accountability. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to measure. Phase 2. Engineer deprivation. You are too comfortable. You have too much access to cheap dopamine. You must intentionally engineer hardship into your daily routine. This is the core of physical and emotional fitness. Turn off the hot water in the shower. Fast for 24 hours. Leave your phone in another room while you work. You must retrain your brain to understand that you, the conscious architect, are in control, not the biological saboteur. You must manufacture friction so that when real adversity hits, your mind doesn't shatter. Phase 3. The strategic purge. You must audit your circle. You do not need to make a dramatic announcement. You simply execute the strategy of silence. Stop participating in gossip. Stop engaging in low-frequency complaints about the economy or the algorithm. Slowly retract your energy from individuals who consume it and reallocate that energy toward your internal growth. As you elevate your frequency, the tribe will naturally detach from you. Let them. Phase 4. The 100-hour rule. Average people dabble. They try a new business model for 2 weeks, see no results, and pivot. They read half a book on Machiavellian strategy and think they are masters. To break the cycle of average, you must commit to the 100-hour rule. Choose one skill, one mechanism, one objective, and commit 100 hours of deep, uninterrupted, agonizing focus to it before you are allowed to evaluate the results. You must force yourself through the trough of sorrow, the period where the work is brutally hard and the rewards are non-existent. That is where the 99% quit. That is where you take their market share. We have reached the end of the autopsy. The anatomy of your average life has been laid bare. There is no more algorithm to blame. There is no more trauma to hide behind. There is no more bad luck to use as a shield. The anesthetic has worn off. Right now, in this exact second, your potential is screaming. It is watching you. It is waiting to see what you do when this video ends. Will you click on another video? Will you seek out another dopamine hit to forget what we just discussed? Will you sink back into the warm, numbing embrace of the middle class? Or will you finally accept the burden of radical accountability? Every breath you take from this moment forward is a choice. You are either choosing the friction of greatness, or you are choosing the slow, suffocating death of mediocrity. There is no neutral gear. There is no standing still. You are not a victim. You are the architect. Stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop apologizing to the tribe. Stop seeking comfort. Listen to the scream. Let it tear you apart. Let it burn away the average version of you so that the monster underneath can finally be unleashed. The choice is yours. Execute.